corruption vulnerability assessment. Okay? And the second one is the corruption resistance review. As I said, resistance meaning what are the structures already in place that would insulate or try to, diba, make sure that corruption are prevented.
So, dito po ba sa DSWD, parang, ano po yung structures po dito?
Yeah, in fact, I had it taken out in our files. Last 2005, we had this special order, no, signed by the Secretary forming the Integrity Development Committee. So, the Integrity Development Committee is headed by an EXICOM member, no, an assistant secretary, to emphasize that the management is really serious in promoting good governance and transparency and accountability in the ways we do our work. So there's a vice chairperson, usually the director of the internal audit, no, usually. Okay. And the members are actually the representatives of all offices, bureaus, and services at the central office. And this structure, this committee, is replicated at the field offices. So we have 16 field offices, so they also have one IDC per field office. So this committee tries to monitor the integrity development plans of the offices or the divisions or units under the region or the offices, bureaus, and services in case of the central office.
So, okay. Tanong ko lang po ito, kailan po ba na-implement yung
Yeah. Actually nag-start ito when was GMA? Nag-start ito 2004 pa, I think, no? But formally, the department created the Integrity Development Committee in 2005. About March of 2005. But even before March, I think 2004, there were already initial meetings about IDAC.
So, what are the strengths of this program ng IDAC po? Ano po sa tingin ng parang strengths ng IDAC po?
Well, one of the strengths ng IDAP is that it's very logical and progressive. So you first start with the policy formulation, no? After you have come up with the policy formulation, you'll be expected to disseminate the policy. After the dissemination of the policies, you will be expected to consistently implement. And then the fourth level is you are able to integrate these policies that you have formulated with other systems. So mayroong integration. And then yung highest level is you try to assess the impact of this policy. So meaning to say, there's a system, no, and it's logical. It's founded on a strong policy ground, basically. Kasi you cannot naman implement programs without a clear policy statement. So therefore, just like in any other programs, IDAP is based on management, solid management support. Kasi it's the management, diba? Crafting the policies. So that's one key strength of IDAP. And basically, the PAGSI was very consistent in monitoring the program. In fact, there were quarterly meetings, and then later on, they instituted this semestral evaluation of the agencies implementing IDAP, whereby the top 3 and the bottom 3 are being announced. Di ba? So, it's another motivation for department heads to really make serious their IDAP implementation, their IDAP programs.
Pwede mo ba magbigay ng mga parang policies na expect dito sa DSM? Ano po yung mga parang policies na formulate nyo na po para
Yeah. One is the memo requiring all officials and employees who were given this authority to practice their profession, they are now required to submit their income tax return and attach those ITRs in their statement of assets and liabilities and net worth, SALN. Kasi before, you just file it separately. They're not required to attach their ITR in their SALN. So, I think this was in 2007 where the secretary, who was that? Could be Secretary Cabral who required all employees and officials who were given authority to practice profession to attach their ITRs in their SALN. Second is the issuance of the whistleblowing policy, no? Internal reporting and whistleblowing policy. So basically, it's trying to protect employees who have personal information of cases of corruption. So protection means that they will not be subjected to retaliation. If there will be cases of retaliation, then management would provide assistance to that employee or official. Basically, that's the main idea.
So far naman po yung mga policies na-formulate at na-implement, effective naman po sila sa
the ITR, no, the attachment of ITRs in SALN, it's being followed, no, until now. But for the internal reporting and whistleblowing, it was very few who responded to that, no. I mean, it was disseminated to the field offices, but for some reasons we had very few who reported, no? Well, which means a lot of things. One is that maybe there are very few, if there in fact there are corruption activities in the department, or maybe the policy is not good enough, no? They are not comfortable enough to make certain reports. That could also be a reason, no? And because I was able to hear one feedback which said that ang problema sa whistleblowing natin, the protection is only extended to you, but for your immediate family, it's not extended to them. So the retaliation may be trained to them, not just to you. So that's one area. So yun ang naging dyan. But then again, yung naging maganda rin naman siya because at least there's an opening for employees to report if they witness irregular activities. So the awareness level of people on the idea that they may be reported, no, if they'll be caught doing something bad, increased. So kahit paano, meron pa rin impact.
So, ano po ba yung ibang policies po? Maliban ba sila lang? Meron pa po ba?
Ano pa ba yung... The rest kasi almost meron ng existing policies eh. No? For example, internal audit, we already had internal audit. So, sa ENGAS, we were already implementing ENGAS at that time. Ito, the internal policy on handling administrative cases was updated because of IDAP.
Ano po yung updated version?
So basically, one, the anti-graft and anti-corruption committee was expanded and strengthened so that the chair, for example, at the field offices was already the assistant regional director. No? So they tried to strengthen the committee. And here, it's being chaired by the legal service. No. An assistant secretary.
Ano ba sa tingin niyo parang nakatulong doon sa parang sa update din? Ano yung parang nasa strengthen?
Yeah, because the committee, for example, at the field offices had more they're more confident now to submit their recommendations. Whereas before, I think it was only chaired by a division chief, no, and therefore they were not that confident enough to submit recommendations to the central office. But because of the promotion, no, in terms of the chairmanship to the assistant regional director, the members of the committee were more empowered in a way.
So,
and then the process was updated. They tried to streamline the process, so it's very clear to the employees how administrative cases would be handled. So clear timelines, clear structures to whom complaints will be submitted. So basically those things.
So parang nabawasan po yung parang bureaucracy kasi di ba parang masyadong...
Oo, maraming hindi klaro kung saan pupunta.
Maraming
hindi clear yung timeline. So yung sinet nila yung timelines.
So sa tingin niyo naman po, ano naman po yung parang perceive yung weakness?
Ang weakness nito basically is that when the PAGSI was dissolved, no, the program parang died with the dissolution of the PAGSI. So,
bakit po?
because nobody was monitoring anymore the implementation of IDA. And besides, we were already busy monitoring the IDR action plan. Because later on in 2008, we had this IDR. We had the IDR implemented in the department. So the Integrity Development Review resulted to coming up with specific action plans. And we were able to design 150 plus action plans for IDAP. So that also resulted to the department focusing our energies on the IDR action plan, what we call the IDRAP, and provided limited time now for the IDAP. And anyway, the IDAP naman, there's nobody to monitor the reports. Whereas for the IDR action plan, the Ombudsman, the Office of the Ombudsman, continues to monitor the IDR.
So hanggang ngayon po wala po nagbo-monitor ng IDAP?
Actually, we were given information from the Office of the President, that they are going to continue monitoring the IDAP, but they are still on the drawing boards. They're still trying to plan out how they're going to repackage the IDAP. Of course, there will be changes because most of the agencies, di ba, nag-ano na medyo mataas na. For example, kami, nasa almost 4.6 na kami. So, near the top score of 5. So, there has to be some reconfiguration of the IDAP to make it more challenging for agencies to implement. So, we're still waiting for further instructions from
So,
the Office of the President.
So ngayon po wala po nag-monitor?
Sa ngayon, deferred yung monitoring. It's on standby status. But we know that one of these days, the Office of the President would be calling on us for this. I don't know, maybe the IDAP would be renamed. It's up to them, basically. But what we got as of last information is that they were able to hire a consultant to assist them in coming up with this new program.
Nabanggit niyo po yung score po ninyo yung 4.6. Ano po ba yung scoring system?
It's 1 to 5. Once you, for example, level 1, score 1, for you to get 1, you should be able to issue the minimum policy requirements. So, for example, for whistleblowing, you should be able to come up with a whistleblowing policy. So, ganun. Second is dissemination. You should be able to show proof that in fact that policy had been disseminated. But I'll just take this part.